All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our next fight. Making his way to the cage and fighting out of the red corner, it's Jevon Sanders.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to CageZilla for our 5th amateur bout of the evening. Jevon Jaeger Sanders is stepping up to the plate here at 25 years old and standing at 5'7". He's in the Bantamweight category, and he got his name Jaeger from his hard-hitting style that I hope to see translated into the ring.
Jaeger comes in as a Bantamweight champion in another organization looking to step up in his level of competition. He carries a 33% finish rate with his wins, only loss coming via submission in November of last year. With our amateur Bantamweight champ Diallo looking to turn pro later this year, the winner of this bout could find himself challenging for the vacant CageZilla Bantamweight title. His teammate Christian Gonzalez will be making his pro debut later tonight on the professional side of the card. He is coming all the way up from North Carolina. This team is looking to represent that Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area and show that MMA out there is flourishing and coming up to this high level. I'm excited to see what this young talent can bring to the CageZilla organization. And we're going to throw it to Chris to call out his opponent.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Charlie McCloskey.
Charlie Machine Gun McCloskey, at 24 years old, stands at 5'10" and is fighting out of Rising Tide Academy and could be the toughest test for Jaeger Sanders yet, as he is currently undefeated at 2-0 here in CageZilla.
Now, hey, shout out to Rising Tide Academy. Shout out to Mike Stewart, who is in the corner of Charlie right now tonight. Charlie is an amazing young talent, and he's committing his life to this game. He now works at Rising Tide Academy, teaching as a part of the jiu-jitsu program. He trains twice a day. He might be unranked due to inactivity, but that's activity in MMA. Charlie has been incredibly active in kickboxing, getting some great kickboxing wins in the Gut Check organization. He's also now getting over 104 submission grappling victories, and he wanted me to shout out that guillotine is dangerous, with 78 victories coming now officially from his guillotine. Charlie's coaches also include Alexander Romanov, the UFC heavyweight who's fought a few weeks back. I'm excited to see Charlie. He came down to Kaizen. He's starting to venture and cross-train too. We have a great relationship with Rising Tide Academy. He got exposed. This is his first time in bantamweight. He used to be a featherweight, but we told him down there that, hey, you know, your body really fits this weight class. We think you're going to be a dangerous guy. And now he gets to find out. He made the weight clean, and let's get this bout underway. Chris, I'll throw it to you to announce it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for three-minute rounds in the CageZilla Amateur Bantamweight Division. It is brought to you by our friends at Gray Realty Group, a top real estate team in Northern Virginia. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'7" and weighing in at 135 pounds, fighting out of Elevate MMA Academy with a record of 3 wins and only 1 defeat, it's Jevon Jaeger Sanders. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'10" and weighing in at 135 pounds, fighting out of Rising Tide Academy, he brings a perfect 2-0 record to the cage. It's Charlie Machine Gun McCloskey. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for three-minute rounds. It is brought to you by our friends at Gray Realty Group, and your referee is Gabe Balajit.
All right, Liam, let's get into it. Jaeger Sanders versus Machine Gun McCloskey. Both of these competitors eyeing each other up. We have a referee in the center of the ring to get this bout underway in just a few seconds.
We talked about Charlie might be Jevon's greatest challenge. I actually think it could also be the other way around. I don't know if Charlie's really faced such a hard hitter, but he has been fighting a weight class up for his natural frame. So we're just going to see tonight. Good, powerful kick, but met by the counter right hand. Both orthodox fighters fighting close stance right now. I like Charlie's slight pressure game, not letting his fighter come in, but Charlie needs to start putting hands in front of these kicks.
Yeah, it's good movement from Jevon to get out of the way of some of these kicks. Just in general, it looks like right now McCloskey is just trying to fight for space. He does have center of the ring advantage. We're going to see if that translates into anything here.
He's stepping in well. I like that he steps in with his base, but he doesn't step in behind punches. He's stepping in and then trying to throw. Sometimes you need to walk yourself into range, but naked kicks and stepping in is not going to be your winning strategy here. Now Charlie could be trying to dive onto that takedown, but right now we need to see a little cleaner striking. There's the takedown attempt. Good sprawl attempt, but Charlie walks him right up to the wall.
Yep.
With an underhook, trying to keep that pin. We are now over under. Charlie's trying to get that tight front headlock. Hips are out though. Good knee by Charlie.
That being said, Jevon is still on his own 2 feet. There might not be enough space up against this wall for a full takedown, and therefore things are going to navigate back towards the center. Yet again, pressure from McCloskey. He's got Jevon exactly where he wants him.
Now going for a double collar tie. Someone called it a plum clinch. Charlie kind of mixing up his Muay Thai and grappling skills. That is the real true base of striking over at Rising Tide Academy is Muay Thai. It's where Charlie's been getting his individual striking experience. It's working out for him as the grappler. He wants his attachments. He keeps trying to feed over. He's feeding the knees, then trying, whenever the head comes low, trying to feed over for his patented guillotine. I would tell Charlie those knees are going to oh, great short little elbow. Drops a mouth guard, but the ref's going to let them continue until they're clean break in the action. I like this strategy from Charlie. This is where he can really get a good gauge. Oh, great head kick. Body too. Oh, he hit the head blow, but the foot might have grazed the cup.
Yep, going to be called to the far side of the ring here. Jevon, though, definitely took tons of abuse from that last exchange. Barely able to wobble back to his feet.
I'm going to tell everybody right now, there were clean knees to the head in there. It was just a stray foot while throwing a clean strike. Right there. That was a clean knee to the head, but the toes kind of ride up into the cup. Now, for those wondering, you will get 5 minutes of recovery time in MMA. He can choose to return whenever he wants, and Jevon just signaled to the ref that he'd like to continue the action with 1 minute left to go in round 1.
And Jevon getting this breathing space could be harming the strategic advantage that Charlie had after those drives up against the wall as things resume. Let's see whether or not he's going to be able to get that steam back in his head.
Oh, Charlie's just closing distance. Jevon now has felt that grappling, knows that he needs to fire when Charlie tries to get in tight. Right now, it's a distance between the long and the close. Charlie is getting tagged up when he's in that mid-range. Oh, that double almost gets it. He fishes back under for it. Right now, Jevon trying to fight off the 2-on-1 from the single. Charlie should just rest right here. This should be a kind of a hub and then keep off-balancing Jevon. Good. He goes back to the collar tie. This is the battle. Can Charlie navigate the distance whereas Jevon's ready to fire in that boxing range? Charlie can win on the outside. He can win in tight, but he needs to cross the barrier in order to be dominant.
Jevon's been staying on his own 2 feet for the majority of this match, but the problem is we've seen how good McCloskey is in these clinch situations with that Muay Thai background. If that continues, it could be a disaster as a leaping kick is going to quite land, but once again, Charlie is in his favored range.
Oh, great job. Now, hey, Charlie actually told me earlier today he comes from a boxing base, but we're seeing now how what you have experience competing in can sometimes override the skills you first came into the game with. Charlie doesn't even have a USA amateur boxing license yet, so Muay Thai, I would say, is really more of his grounding base of striking. That said, Muay Thai fights don't operate in the same rules as MMA. Muay Thai, you kind of just stand there. It's about forward pressure. It's about demonstrating strength. If the boxing becomes overwhelming, you clinch up as Charlie has in this bout, and Charlie has the grappling to make that clinch a threat. That's a great part of it. Right now, Jevon isn't really trying to test the wrestling back against Charlie. I'm looking, though, for Charlie to be a little more defensively responsible closing range and to have a little more proactive setups trying to close it.
We've seen hints of what Charlie could do if he could get a clean takedown throughout that first round, but right now he's having to settle for some of those knees, and yes, those are devastating, but we also saw the risks involved with doing that. That cup shot earlier broke up his momentum and could harm him on the judges' cards.
And, hey, Chris Fuller earlier talked about adrenaline dumps. Charlie could be experiencing one now. He is experiencing MMA with 2 fights, but I don't know how much he's had to really fight for these takedowns and pinning somebody against the cage. And then the ref kind of forces the separation and the arms are heavy after that. I really wonder who was working harder on the cage. Was it Charlie or was it Jevon? It could be kind of 50-50. It could be Charlie. That's a lot of force trying to pin somebody on their feet. We're only gonna see as the bout plays out, though. Now, Starting the second round. Here we go.
Yep, and there's the bell to start things off. And as we begin with both fighters eyeing each other, what do you want to see out of Jevon here?
I want to see Jevon start being more proactive moving forward. I want him to take the lead on Charlie. Right now, he's kind of allowed Charlie to walk in and make some mistakes, and he gets to counter. But I'd say that not going forward and going after Charlie is the reason why Charlie had like 2 minutes of control time almost.
Yep, and there we see a few shots sneak in under the guard of Jevon. One to the face and then a roundhouse kick to those side ribs here. Jevon is the one who's known for his striking. He's the one who built his entire identity off of it. But I'm a little bit worried that he isn't able to find a stable base by which to use that, given the long leverage that McCloskey has.
Oh, McCloskey takes advantage of a foot slip on the logos. And this is, hey, Jevon is definitely tired. Jevon is not punishing Charlie for the distance closing like he was in round one. He's kind of agreeing. And Charlie, hey, Jake Outwell in the corner, shout out. He has a good boxing base, probably one of Charlie's main training partners, also a CageZilla amateur veteran with us. I'm going to guess in that corner they said, hey, man, what is going on here? This isn't you. Let's get back to reality. Let's get back to the good skills. And now a good range for that kick. He had some good boxing coming in here now, better in the second round. I like these adjustments coming from McCloskey. Jevon needs to kind of turn up the pace here, I think.
Yeah, he almost caught that kick. So if that goes a little bit more sluggish, it could be the case that Jevon could return fire. But right now, it's just him taking these peppering shots from afar, trying to find an angle in. But look at the guard. Kick goes out. Charlie brings that guard up.
Like right now, like Charlie was throwing naked kicks, so no setup behind him, no punches, just like look, kick. Jevon punished them. Now Charlie can get away with it. He's firing at a better distance, but Jevon also just isn't having that fire. That said, Jevon's landed a few good power blows here. He is still in this game, and he is authoritative when he connects. Oh, Charlie with a check elbow. That is slick. You don't see check hooks.
Yeah, Jevon trying to get in under, gets punished by that elbow there. Once again, Muay Thai kind of shining through in Machine Gun's game plan. This time around, no real takedown attempts. It looks like Charlie just wants to continue to press that range advantage through the entirety of the second bout.
You also could see probably Charlie saying that, hey, takedowns cost a lot of energy. Man, I don't know if I want to do that all the time. This is good, though. He's fighting from a good distance now. He's not closing over aggressively. He's not throwing so much pitter-powder from the outside it doesn't get respect. Right now, they're all just, it's kind of tit for tat right here. Somebody has to make a punctuation. Somebody has to change up the look of the fight. Oh, Charlie hits the chin. Goes for the takedown. That is a great strategy right now. You're late in the second round. It's been kind of even. You are landing. Let's get something good and authoritative. We see the judges like takedowns today at CageZilla. Oh, but Charlie gets swept by Jevon. Now Charlie's inverting. He's going for the heel hook. Amateurs are allowed to use a full arsenal. This is a great work. Now Charlie needs to sweep. Oh, great work. Charlie ending with a submission threat on the ground. Even though he got swept, he goes right back to offense. Doesn't take any damage. I think that is securing a round two for Charlie Machine Gun McCloskey.
100% agree. Jevon with a few shots of brilliance there at the very end with that reversal, but the counter from McCloskey, I think, puts that firmly in his wheelhouse, and now the pressure's really on Jevon. Those are 2 rounds most likely going over to the blue corner, and so we could be seeing a little bit of desperation. He has been flagging throughout these last 2 rounds, so the question becomes, is he trying to save up for something explosive here at the end? And now, beyond that, does he need something explosive at the end to close this out?
So I hear you talking about him being, should be in panic mode or whatever right now, but he is not. And one of the best things about sitting cage side here at the CageZilla events is hearing the fighters talk trash to each other. When he was on the ground just now and Charlie was shooting for that heel hook, he was saying, nope, just talking trash to him the whole time. I love it.
That is great. Now, hey, talking trash is great, but hey, if somebody's on your heel trying to rip an ACL, I recommend giving it respect. Now, hey, I will say I did not see that as a high tension. Like, Charlie did not really get everything super tight on that submission, but it's still a good look for the judges to see somebody offensive. Now, I will say Jevon probably coming out very fast. Probably has a little bit of a recharge time. He has a little bit of sprint in him right now. Charlie needs to make it through this first minute, but he shouldn't be passive. He shouldn't let Jevon charge up and have his sprints. Charlie should make Jevon work.
At the same time, how exactly is Jevon going to approach Charlie? Because it's been Machine Gun who's approached and attempted every takedown so far in this match.
honestly, he needs to jab his way in. I really think Jevon just hasn't been the one trying to lead the striking exchanges. Charlie is a high volume, high energy kind of guy, so I understand it. If somebody walks into your punches, let him walk into them. But Jevon needs to set up his offense. He can't be waiting on Charlie to hand him a victory.
But on the flip side of that, I don't think Charlie can take his foot off the gas pedal either, because a wise man once said, do not leave it in the hands of the judges. And we saw that in the first bout of the evening. On my scorecard, it looked like the red corner had that fight won in the first fight, and that didn't go that way. So Charlie cannot get lackadaisical here and take his foot off the gas pedal.
I can't agree with you more, Chris, because that was a great right hand that landed. I ooh and ah at all these strikes. I think Charlie's landing great things that twist the jaw. I think, though, that Charlie's also been the one who's had his head moved his shoulder to shoulder a little bit more.
Yep.
With a low volume, I don't think anybody here has had really crazy combinations. We've had great single strikes, and I don't know if the judges are really going to count that heel hook as great offense. I love it. I'm a jiu-jitsu brown belt, so I appreciate it. But what's a judge going to score? You never know.
And there's different scoring criteria that different judges lean on more than others. Control of the ring, power shot, stuff like that. And so you never know what way the judge is going to sway in a 3-round decision.
Right now, it does look like Jevon has been putting a little bit more power behind these strikes, and I wonder how that's also going to translate to the scorecard if this goes the full distance, which seems more and more likely as the timer ticks on.
Absolutely. Only a minute left in this round. Charlie and Jevon are game. They are firing 50-50 exchanges, both landing a punch, maybe one getting it, just slipping it. Then a third one comes in. I would say Jevon is right now winning this tit-for-tat game in the third round, but just by a slight margin. Charlie kind of settling in, kind of feels that he has built up a good lead too.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I don't like that. I don't like that approach by Charlie.
And how much of it is also Charlie who's been the one offensively grappling? It might not be like a conscious decision. Let me chill. It's just simply how the fight's going, what he's seeing offered to him. Oh, he stays in tight. Great job by Charlie keeping his hand. Great by Jevon just firing.
And to Charlie's credit, he is the one walking Jevon down. He is pushing the action. Now Jevon's throwing everything.
Oh, great hook.
Right to the jaw.
Jevon's throwing everything off his back foot.
Oh, they heard the clackers. They're game. They both know that it's tight time.
And there's the bell. Both fighters going to end this one on their feet. Hug at the end, too. Beautiful sportsmanship.
Charlie putting the hands up. Jevon hands on the hips, head down. This is all optics. Nobody knows who won this bout right now, but Charlie feeling like he might have gotten it through.
On my side, I'll be honest, Liam, it did feel like it was control out of Machine Gun McCloskey throughout the majority of this match. At the end there, Jevon, with this low volume but high power striking attack, did start to sneak in some blows, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to make the decision sway in Red Corner's favor.
Only the judges know, and before us, it'll be Chris Fuller who will know. I think Charlie here got a really good experience. I think he got in a cage. He felt the holes of his striking translating to MMA a little bit. Now, I say holes like it's some disaster. It's absolutely not. He settled in. He made adjustments. Also, first time back in an MMA cage in a while, the distance is different. The people want to stand further away. You sometimes feel like you need to rush in. I'll give a lot of credit to Jevon. He looked like the more experienced fighter, but his urgency to go get what he wanted rather than waiting on it, that's something I would say is something to look at before you move into the professional ranks of MMA.
Yep, certainly the case. We saw that front kick stagger Machine Gun early in that third round. That just didn't translate into anything. He stood strong, center of the ring, but he could have followed that up.
Yeah, and hey, though, Charlie McCloskey did not need to rest on his grappling for a victory tonight. He could go in there with a dangerous striker, a champion of another organization, and he can hold his own. Also, getting proof that, hey, my chin will hold up in this weight class. I think a lot of fighters, when they first get down to what their true weight class is, are a little scared. MMA weight cuts are hard. They don't know if the hydration is going to be the thing. Now, hey, though, don't leave it in the judges' hands. We never know. Now let's go to Chris.
Salisbury Center, after 3 rounds of absolute combat, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. But before we do, let's hear it for both these fighters putting on a great show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Judge 1 scores about 29-28. Judge 2 scores about 29-28. And Judge 3 scores about 28-29 for your winner by split decision. Out of the red corner, it's Jevon Sanders.
Jevon Yeager Sanders with the stability takes the victory here. Unexpected, I think, from the commentary booth, Liam, but definitely he strutted his stuff. That third round, I think, brought things back into his wheelhouse, but still a great showing for Machine Gun McCloskey as well.
And I got to give it all the credit there to Jevon. He stood his ground, and I think those free lands in the first round, although Charlie had this really great clinch, not all those strikes really get to be seen, the full damage to be seen, whereas Jevon, he moved Charlie's head a lot. Now, hey, we're coming back here with our final amateur bout of the night, and we're going to throw it to commercial. See you all soon back here at CageZilla 79.
Like and subscribe to CageZilla.